Why do we vote and who should vote? Today we are talking about elections and democracy. And we talk about elections, we talk about registration, we talk about voting, and we talk about the result, which is the well-being of the majority of the people. Now, what should we have in mind when we are talking about elections or when we go to vote? Some people just think that we vote because we want to see Mr. A or Mr. B or Mr. X or Mr. Y president. And I think that we should put in mind, or we should have this vision, that voting is like a journey from the worst city, call it city A, to this best city, call it city B. Now we talk of city A. City A is like a city characterized by the outcome of corruption. It can be greed, it can be insecurity, it can be illiteracy, it can be lack of food, spread of diseases. And city B is the contrary of city A. That is, city B is the reason why we vote. That is, we vote because we need good schools, hospitals, security, potable water, employment. That city B has all of this. And voting here is like a means of transporting voters from, or votes from, by bus from city A to city B. That is, from a city where things are worst to a city where things are good. That is, city where people are happy to live in. Now, before you think of boarding a bus, you must first of all buy your ticket. Democratically, we say you must first of all own a voting card, and to get this you must register. This is to show that you really want to move from city A to city B. And casting your ballot paper is like entering this bus. Again, before you board a bus, make sure the tires are not worn out, make sure the headlights are still good, make sure the brakes are good, and above all, the driver should be in the driving mode. Because if it's not in driving mode, be careful. And some other people think that yeah, your bus should be in a good state because it has to transport you, otherwise you will not make it to your destination. And a bus here is like an election management body. In Cameroon we call it Elecam. And we must also think that if you bought a bus with worn out tires, if you bought a bus with broken headlights, if you bought a bus where the brake linings are all chopped off, if you bought a bus which is driven by a drunken or a drowsy driver, then I'm afraid you will not make it to your destination. You will not make it to your destination because it is very certain that you will crash along the way. There will be an accident. Now, if you bought a good bus with good tires, good headlamps, and a good driver, then what next should you have in mind? The thing I have in mind is a question, that is, who should vote, or who has to be transported from city A to city B. Democratically, we'll say who needs to vote. That's a simple question. Now, those who are already at city A, those who are still at city A, are those who need to move to city B. That's, at city A we have the majority of the people who lack what those at city B have, so they need to move to city B. Those at city B don't deserve to be transported anymore because they are already there. In terms of election, we say those at city B deserve a zero vote or a zero quality vote because they are already there, while those at city A need full transportation because they need to get to city B. Travelers at city A or voters at city A deserve a full vote. If we call them travelers, then we will say they deserve a full bus fare because they are still at point A. They have not yet started traveling, and we have to put them in the shoes of voters. We'll say they deserve a full vote because they have a very long distance to cover from city A to city B. And the passengers who are a quarter way away from city A have 3/4 distance to cover to get to city B. If you put them in the shoes of passengers, we will say they need to pay 3/4 fare. And in terms of democracy, in terms of vote, we will say their votes need to weigh 3/4. 3/4 because their distance is not that far. Those halfway between city A and city B need to pay half fare. In terms of vote, we'll say they deserve a half vote. That is what we call democracy. In terms of democracy, they need a half vote because they have just a half distance to cover. Those 3/4 way from city A need to cover 1/4 distance to city B. That is, they need to pay a quarter fare. And in terms of election, we say they deserve a quarter vote only. And finally, those who are at city B are already at city B, and they don't need to pay any transport fare anymore because they're already there. In terms of election, we say they deserve a 0 vote, or their vote should weigh 0. That is what we call fairness and democracy, which is which is equivalent to the well-being of the majority. Because those at city B don't need to be transported because they are aware why people vote to get to. This is a way of ensuring the well-being of the majority of the people, and it's called fairness anyway. Thank you. Please tour our website and make your comments, make your own contribution. Thanks.